Hey, Steve August here, Steve August Coaching, and it is Thursday, March 18th, and it is a crazy world out there still as the coronavirus crisis continues on. And one of the casualties today was the postponement of the Reconnect retreat that I am running, or was running, for April 20th to 23rd. And it just became quite obvious that we're going to be in this state of affairs for at least another 4 to 8 weeks, seeing how this plays out. And in that time, the world is going to be very different and very locked down, especially when it comes to travel and group, even small group interactions. So the wise thing and the prudent thing to do was to postpone, and everybody understands what's going on. But I wanted to share with you some lessons in this, and I think some important things to recognize, both in terms of where to go and what to do, and also where the opportunities could be. So one of the things that I want to talk about is this idea of forcing functions. And a forcing function is something that forces your hand. It forces you to get to a different perspective. It forces you to make choices. And one of the things that I do in the Reconnect retreats is a forcing function. I take people's cell phones away, and they are not able to communicate or get the input or the onslaught of information. And that's the point. It's a forcing function. It forces them to get a different perspective. We go out into nature. We shift. And it's a forcing function. People sign up to get forced into that shift. And the value in that, of course, is that you see everything from an expanded and perspective that lets you actually see your challenges in a different way. It's a beautiful thing, and it's very powerful as it happens. Now, we are in a different forcing function. A black swan event like this that we're currently experiencing is a forcing function. It is forcing us to recognize, whether we want to or not, that things are changed. The game is a little different right now, and it's going to be for the near term. And we don't know exactly how long it's going to last. So this is forcing choices. So it's forced me to say this retreat has to happen later. As much as everybody wanted to have it, it's just not the time for it. And we needed to get to acceptance on that, and I needed to get to acceptance on that. And there's going to be a lot of other things that this forcing function is going to force us into acceptance. And we can resist it and fight it. And the initial reaction is, stay level, stay strong, stay consistent with what you're doing. But at some point, there's a recognition that things are different, and we actually do have to change, and we have to accept that. And I want to just point that out for the business owners, people leading businesses out there. One of the biggest things you can do to start turning the tide is to get to acceptance. This is different. It's going to be different. It's time to accept and realize that you need to do things differently. And so that's getting to acceptance is the first place to starting to turn and see the opportunity. Because it'll force us to say what's essential. It'll force us to say where's our cash. It'll force us to assess what is the financial strength of our company. What is the financial strength of our customers. And this is one of those things that forces a reassessment. You don't have to do these kinds of assessments or make these hard choices in times that are plentiful, because there's not a lot of penalty for doing things that aren't essential. And forcing functions like this really strip that away. Suddenly, involuntarily, we don't have a choice, and they give us a blessing in that they do that for us. So really look at that. Once you get to acceptance, you can start saying, instead of fighting and resisting, okay, I wanted to do this, but now we can't do this. It's like, okay, we can't do this. Now what? What do we do? Where's the opportunity? So I want to encourage you, everybody, to think about it that way, that you're currently involved in a forcing function, and it's doing you as a service in the sense of forcing you on to focus on the essentials. Whether that's how you take care of your team, how you take care of your customers, how you the financial health of your business, whatever it happens to be, how you relate with your community, how you relate with other people, how you relate with your partner. There is a forcing function here that is helping us in this way. It's an awful way to get there, right? In the sense of people and economies being sickened, but it is helping. It is providing some opportunity. So I wanted to leave you with that thought, and see and sit with it and see if you can find value in it. So that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow, and with other thoughts on how to proceed in our current world. Stay healthy, and I'll talk with you soon.